Well,
Yep.
okay. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the um, January staff planning meeting. As always, make sure that you follow the instructions to get counted attendance-wise here for the meeting. We'll count towards your ATC voting rights. Um, and again, any questions or anything throughout the meeting, feel free to throw them out in chat. We will continue to monitor that and get to those as soon as we can. Lead with position announcements. If you have any questions or would like to apply, it's AD_applications at animedetour.com. It's the same ones we've had open for a while, a little more difficult to fill virtually, or at least without meeting sort of in person. Um, Reservations head is still open if you have interest in that or any questions about the position. We'd like to get that filled. Our charity auction heads are stepping down after our 2021 show this year. So if you're interested in that, and I believe we still need to officially post logistics head, so we'll get that done this week. And we'll be looking for a logistics head. We haven't filled any positions since our last meeting, so we can move into partner announcements. Mike, did you have
Did you
anything?
get the GPS announcements?
Dave said he was going to send it to me, but I don't think I got it.
Yeah, he told me he was gonna send it to me. See, he's gonna send it over to you like an hour ago.
Let me double check here. Bear with me 1 second. No, I don't have anything, and I don't.
Dave, did you get your email sent out? Because I don't see your updates to me that you said you were gonna send, unless you got caught in our spam here.
Nothing in my spam. Anyway, well, while we try and track that down, I know that Tristan is out there in chat. I don't know, Tristan, if you had anything for on the ATC side, anything you wanted to talk about? Give that a little bit. I know that at the February board meeting, one thing that I know we'll be discussing is sort of the financial situation and impact on Detour and organization wide. So that's at least one thing I'm aware of. I don't know. Give it a few minutes and see if we get any more information from ATC or GPS. Otherwise, while we're waiting on that, we did send out notifications and posted on our social media. So hopefully everyone has seen or been made aware that we have officially canceled the physical portion of Anime Detour 2021. We are finalizing a few more items in regards to a virtual offering that would most likely take place on that same weekend. So as soon as we can finalize a few bits and pieces on that, we'll make another rollout on social media, etc., letting our community know about that. Again, if you have any questions on how we'll sort of be moving forward with that or the decision itself, feel free to post those in chat and we'll address those. Let's see. It doesn't look like we're getting anything right now from GPS or ETC.
Well, I got Dave's email for his programming note, so his GPS email might be coming through shortly to you.
Okay. Meeting could be relatively short, where normally a large part of it is our, especially this time of year, is our department updates. With sort of the transitioning to virtual, Um, so not exactly starting anew, but there's a little bit of an element to that is shifting to that virtual track. It says we're looking into a few bylaw revisions. Been some questions regarding clarification on wording that they're looking into. A more formal and detailed application process for the ATC elections of board members. Since in the past, there hasn't been anything officially written down. Dave is having some volume issues. I don't know if anybody else is, but you are the first. It says the volume is a bit low for some. Well, yes. I don't know if that's on our end. I can try talking louder or longer, whichever you prefer. Okay, let me just pick that back up. All right, so yeah, yes, volume. Ashley, is that something on our end on the presentation side? Okay, thank you. So we'll have Ashley take a look at that and see if there's anything we can tweak on this end to get a little bit better volume. We do have vice chairs. Do we have updates that we want from some of your departments that we can get into, or is there not much there?
I don't have any updates from my departments.
Okay.
I've got a couple that I can touch on quick.
Okay. We'll start with Mike then.
Well, because I've got Dave's programming email open here. He said panels open for submissions due to various technological things. We're not going to be doing 18 plus panels this year because that's just a can of worms you don't want to deal with. He's currently looking at holding upwards of 3 panels at a time. I can talk here with his current run from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, with option to expand into Friday, April 2nd. All various contingent capabilities and panel requests. So we're not entirely set until we know how many panels we get there. They've had many requests for help with moderation. This is something that we're going to talk on to later because the vice chairs need to figure out how we're going to actually handle the moderation and how we're going to get everybody trained for it. So look for communication from the vice chairs and or from Dave here in the future, in the next couple of weeks, once we actually figure out exactly how we're going to have moderators help you on that. And if you have an idea for a panel, forward it to AD_programming. The only other update from a department I had is Artist Alley was going to run an online Artist Alley. They were going to have links up on our website with all of the artists, their various setups, and links to their artist page for how people can buy things to support our artists there.
Andy, do you have anything from your departments?
Nothing concrete. We have things in the works, but yeah, I'd rather announce them when we have firm plans about them going forward.
So a significant, let me just check one more thing here. A significant part of what we'll be doing as we, move towards virtual convention, and as Mike said, there'll be more communication on that. We'll be nailing down exactly how we'll be presenting our panels, so we can get that information to panelists, so that we can all be on the same page. Staff is all on the same page. It'll also help give us a better idea of how many panel moderators that we'll be looking to fill. So again, this will all be a number of different emails. We realize there's a number of departments that don't have an immediate sort of online connection to a virtual con. So we'll be sending something out to all staff about if you would like to volunteer to help during the con, and then in sort of which ways. It'll give us a better idea of how many people are able to help, and hopefully we can start putting them in places where they can do just that. With with the moderation, there's going to be a form of training that we have our moderators go through so that um, not just a consistent message in how we're communicating to those panels and the folks attending them, but sort of a consistent um, process in whether it be timing people out or if we have to remove them, things like that. Just again making sure that we all have sort of the similar orders on how we'd like to see things done and serve the community during that weekend. Um, so that'll be coming out. We're first going to meet with our some of our IT and some of our tech people and make sure that like Andy said, rather than put something out there and have to reverse course, make sure we have these sort of concrete foundation laid before we can get back out with staff and determine those staffing needs. The bulk of it will probably be, like I said, moderation, since most of the offering, if not nearly the entirety of it, is going to be programming coming from Dave's department, and then everything sort of centering around how and when we're presenting that, and using broadcast admins and moderators to sort of make sure that we're ensuring the essentially the virtual equivalent of the same sort of safety and inclusive environment represented virtually as we have always tried to present in person. Again, if you have any questions, that we can answer, feel free to get those into chat on that or any other topic. Let's see. So yeah, as I had mentioned, we put information out there about the cancellation. We wanted to make sure that our community was aware that we would not be in person this year. We worked with our hotel partners to come to sort of a very pleasant resolution on that matter for the second year in a row. That part is the unfortunate part, that it's the second year in a row, but felt like as event organizers and presenters that we've always led with, as I mentioned, attendee safety being primary concern. So leading with that, as well as a number of other things, helped make our decision clear this year. Certainly not easy, but clear. Again, as these messages do start to come out and do start to appear on our official social media channels, again, it's a continued but still a friendly reminder to please allow our marketing department to answer those. I know it's sort of been a bit of a culture shift over a number of years, where everybody was kind of able to dive in and respond on behalf of the organization. Sometimes the message can get inconsistent or confusing for the attendee. So to make sure that we're presenting that same sort of consistent and informed answers, we want to make sure to let the marketing department do the job we've entrusted them to do. So please don't speak on behalf of Anime Detour unless you've been asked or authorized to do so. We want to make sure, like I said, that we have the ability to consistently and accurately inform and engage with our community. But sometimes there might be timings, whether it's dealing with contracts or a reason we might not, if we don't have, like Andy said, a few answers to some concrete questions, then posting it can create further confusion. Somebody's asking about the link, I'm assuming, to the meeting, wondering if it's compatible with mobile. I don't know if anybody is on
The
mobile.
link The link in the chat there to sign in has an error in it because it's blurring the end of the link with "if you're unsure." So you need to get rid of the "if" at the end of the link.
Yeah, so 6, and then
Or use the link that's under in the description of the YouTube channel. That has the correct link.
okay. I see. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, we'll be looking to get together a group of folks that are willing to moderate, and we'll have some more specific information, and then we'll follow up with getting some training together for those moderators. You know, our goal is going to be to find a number of moderators, or you know, panelist moderators that, you know, we don't want to burn anybody out, so we don't want somebody, as Drew has said, you know, to gear up for a 10-hour shift or something like that. We want, you know, everybody. We may have better experience trying to keep folks in a healthy work situation online than we've been able to get folks to do in person, but that's that. So, like I said, canceling is essentially the biggest issue in letting folks know where we're going. Most of this shift, while, you know, for the next couple of months, as always, if there's any questions or anything, you know, we'll certainly address that. But obviously, our primary focus in the coming weeks, which are short, is to get our virtual stuff up there. That, like I said, is heavy on the programming. We'll get also nailed down what our hours of operation, if you will be. So everything will kind of fall into place. We'll be able to work with the panelists with those specific needs. We'll know how many panels we have, how many moderators we'll need, and you know, there's a few other things that we'll be looking at working with themes on. As we mentioned, we talked about, I think, in the department heads meeting. So just to put it out there, and then I'll look at Christina's question here. As far as like the 18 plus panels, there had been some conversation about that. While there may be some ways in some platforms that it might seem more feasible, it seems like a significant undertaking with some legalities. Folks had said, you know, we could, you know, have them photocopy and email us a copy of their front and back of their driver's license. That creates, you know, information. How are we holding on to, and how are we, you know, safeguarding that very privatized information? So
Yeah, we don't want any part of that.
Yeah, so it's expensive, and there needs to be, you know, very specific IT infrastructure to deal with that sort of thing. So it's just not something that at the very least this year, in this amount of time that we have available, that we're going to be able to look at. I still think, based on knowing the quality every year of our programming, I don't have any question that, you know, we'll be able to put on a number of really fantastic panels to help engage our community across a number of topics. Let's see. Besides social media, I really don't know the canceling feature and how to obtain. Well, I mean, I guess depend, you know, rather not just only our social media outlets. I guess Christina's asking, besides social media, are we letting our membership know the canceling of Detour and how to obtain refunds?
So we were sending out an email to everybody whose emails we had that was still registered, or at least we were in the process of trying to get that sorted out.
Yeah, we're looking at IT wise how to make that happen. It was something that happened last year. We're looking at how to sort of replicate that. If we're not able to do mass mailings, we'll still get those emails out. It will be a little bit more of a laborious process, but I will gladly, Drew, as he said, is working on that code. So looking at doing it the easy way or the less easy way, but either way, the resolution is that we will get emails out to those folks that we have pre-registered. But yes, all of our.
If it comes down to it, we'll just have Troy handwrite a letter to everybody and mail it to them.
And I'm just going to add, we did extend the deadline as compared to last year. So even though this email that will eventually go out to the pre-registered attendees is coming out later than we would like, they will have plenty of time to request their refund if they wish to have it.
And through Drew, we were able to make sure that the information also got up on our website. We want to make sure that as there's and has been a large trend in shifting to social media versus websites or forums or bulletin boards, if you're that old, that we are still representing ourselves on our website. I mean, when people, still a large portion of folks, when they do Google Anime Detour, our website hopefully is the one that pops up. And if they click on that, we want to make sure, as Drew has worked on, that in as few clicks as possible, they can get any updated information from us that we've put out there on other social media outlets. So I guess unless anybody else has any other ideas, our thoughts currently are that through the social media accounts that we have, our website, and then the email issue that we're working on, we're hoping that sort of covers a very significant percentage of folks that have a pre-reg and need to let us know whether to refund or roll over. Yes, Tristan's right. We wanted to make sure and get the information out that we were not going to hold a physical convention. We still wanted to make sure and collaborate with our IT folks about our capabilities and some issues there and iron those out. So within those posts, we weren't able to say we're canceling, but also look for on that weekend our virtual offering. We wanted to make sure that we could present a virtual offering and some framework of what that would look like. And that's why the wording is, however it is, I don't have it up in front of me, but essentially that that folks will be getting more information out there when we have it concretely, including the date, hours, etc. Let me see. I'm just looking. I'm looking and see. Let's see right here. Yeah, registration does say opening soon on the website through a couple of clicks. One of the top announcement there from the 14th lets people know that we're canceled for the physical event, and gives the link to the form that they need to fill out for refund or rollover. So, and that's something else, that we wanted to make sure that our community was aware of, is that if they would like to roll over, that can just sort of happen naturally. But if they want a refund, they can fill out this short form by the deadline, and they will get a refund. Wanted to make either option as easy as we were able to for the community, depending on which way fits their needs. So sort of, one other sort of overarching thought process about the virtual convention. We always hope for the best. but we understand that the engagement, most likely practically, but is not going to be the same as the 6,500 or so folks that we reach in person. So I've seen a lot of discussion, and I've attended a lot of the online conventions that have happened in the last year, where I think we might be one of the first that I'm aware of that has had our second uh, cancellation because of the pandemic. The last convention I attended was Amkey last year, so this is their first year of canceling, but yeah, our second year. So um, I've attended a lot of those, and sometimes a lot of the social media stuff becomes, it's not the same as a in-person convention. Well, it would be, they aren't going to be. In a number of ways, we can try to replicate that. The sense of community, the sense of discussion and debate and enthusiasm about the culture or specific properties. But yeah, there's a number of things that just can't be. You know, I've gone to a number of concerts, and I've watched a number of concerts on YouTube, and yes, they aren't the same. My appreciation for the music or the song or the act or whatever might be, but yeah, it's just different. That energy is different. We're going to try to funnel that same energy and the same goals for our presentation as to, it might be a shortened number of hours. There might be a few less things for us to move from the storage locker, but the energy is going to be the same. Is we're trying to again present this positive, impactful, shared environment for a number of hours that maybe even more so now that if people can sign on virtually for however many number of hours they may have available, and no pun intended, but distance themselves from whatever troubles they may have, pandemic related or otherwise, then that's our hope. But we do understand that the engagement is probably going to be of a lower percentage, like I said, than that 6,500. But I assure you, having worked and made myself appreciative of the work all of our departments do, including programming, that the quality isn't going to change. The quality of the presentation that we're striving for is going to be the same. It's just online and smaller than we can do physically, but and we'll be looking for that same energy with departments like programming and IT and tech that have a direct correlation to online, but also we'll be looking, like I said, for folks that, for lack of a better word, are sort of displaced this year. Our folks in Consuite and volunteers and any other department where a large amount of your work is done in person at con. There will be opportunities and places for you to help out if you're willing. So, like Mike said, we'll get some of those pieces nailed down concretely. Our hope is within the next week or so to have more answers. A lot of things will be working, simultaneously with programming, as well as we'll get an email out to, like I said, the staff about if you can help, how you would like to help. So as we start looking to plug people into those places, we have that information. Apparently there are video issues, and they are working on it. In the meantime, like I said, that's our focus now. Is our primary leading focus is to be able to present this event for folks in a few weeks, 8 weeks. Is that about what we're looking at? Maybe less than that now.
I think like 9 or 10 weeks.
Yeah.
If I'm doing my math right here.
So we'll take that. So yeah, but the intent is to, and it will be part of the announcements when we get that stuff out, to be held on the same weekend. We don't have to. It's but it seems like a a good point to just shift. We're not in person, but if you have ideas for things that you would like to see, um, we can never have enough good ideas. So feel free to go through your department head or your vice chair. If you send it to AD_chairman, that gets the entire executive team, our admin folks, vice chairs, and myself. If you want to just go through your vice chair or myself, you can email us individually, and let us know what sort of things, if you've attended a number of these online conventions and there are things that you thought worked, if there are things that you think are sort of cautionary tales, let us know. I inherently trust the staff that we have. It is our, it's our first trip into this. So yeah, we want to make sure that we present as excellent an engagement as we can for the community. So yeah, a number of people have attended a number of these online conventions. I've seen things that I thought worked well, things that I thought could be improved on. So let us know your thoughts there. If you have any questions or concerns on anything else, continue to throw them out there in the chat.
Were there any announcements from Dave regarding GPS in his email?
Yes, there was.
Oh, yeah, that came through actually.
I'm opening it. The writing contest sponsored by GPS is now open for submissions, and those who won bids for the charity auction for Online Council Room 2021 can pick them up tomorrow between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. At GPS room 107. That was it from GPS. So we just at the start of this, we wanted to make sure people knew what, we've got a few more steps to take care of right away here in the beginning. And then we'll sort of be able to spread things out and start getting into that training for moderators. So there wasn't a lot of in-depth and sort of back and forth between departments to sort of build on the meeting. So we do have time, as we always do, and are always open to open discussion or questions, but folks will have to throw something out there in chat. That's unless the other execs have anything. Tristan, if you have anything ATC related, we're sort of at the information we wanted to make sure you have. So now look to see if there's any way that we can help you guys or give you more information or something that we haven't touched on. I'll give it a few minutes, otherwise I'm going to force you to return to your normal lives today. Which makes me very happy, because this whole time I thought it was Sunday and I just realized it's Saturday, so.
Oh, if only it was Sunday.
I had something and I lost it. Old age. Ashley, is there anything you might have from the admin side? Okay. Yeah, understandable. As Tristan mentioned, there's not as much new with ATC. Most of the things are physical events. Yeah, so everything's kind of been in a holding pattern, which is, familiar not only on the detour side, but in, a number of areas of life. Is there a current staff list that can be sent out for us to update? I can, very excellent idea for department heads to keep that updated. I'm going to let Ashley answer that.
Sorry, I'm running between trying to figure out what's going on with the video. So the staff list is up to date in the website. I can send something out to the department heads to be able to log in and check their staff lists. But the staff list is up to date to my knowledge. I don't believe I have any outstanding updates in that record. So I'll send an email out to the department heads to start checking their staff lists.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully that answers your question, Kay. Yeah, we'd like to we keep the staff list as updated as we can. I know it's a little difficult in that we're keeping it updated, but it's not, can't avail ourselves of its full use just yet. But still, if there's folks that you want to make sure get added, or folks that you know are inactive for a year or taking some time off, then you know we also want to make sure that we're taking that into account. Similarly, so really it's kind of putting folks on the spot. If you have any, you know, questions here, but as always, if you have any questions, you know, again, send it to the chairman email, send it to the vice chairs. If you have thoughts, ideas, etc. We want to make sure that, you know, not only now, but you know, particularly now, I think our communication is going to be key. So it's, you know, we want to make sure that as department heads, you know, if you're having any email issues, please get with our admin folks. We want to make sure that you're getting the emails that we're sending. May have to check and then let us know. Let's make sure that we have everything set up we can to communicate effectively. If you're not, I like that. I like that. Just me now on screen. Embiggen. If you're not getting a response from a vice chair, please let us know. And I don't mean that in sort of a negative way, but let's find out, you know, why your emails aren't getting to them or their emails aren't getting to you. Especially now, communication is going to be key, as everything we're doing is virtual. So please remember to, you know, check your detour emails, you know, frequently, respond as frequently as you're able. I myself, you know, try to have a very quick response time, but I spend 8 hours in front of a computer, so it's easier. But also there's also Slack, so just make sure that we keep an eye on that, because you might be similar to physically. We might be waiting on one particular piece of information from you that kind of ties everything together and allows us to take those next steps forward. So it looks like we need to start moderating the YouTube chat. There's some vulgarity in there from Dave about "Go Bills." That is inappropriate, to say the least.
Oh, you can have some sympathy for the Bills.
Okay, so Lauren's asking, for those of us who have projects still in the works, when can we expect budget? So while the budget was approved obviously prior to the cancellation from the board, once I'll get to Tristan in a second. Once as we're sort of in a holding pattern, November and December, we did not want to have a lot of spending occur, because at the time we still were hopeful but not certain that we would be able to hold a physical convention. Once in December, we started having those discussions with the Hyatt about needing to shift into canceling the physical event. That sort of changes our budgetary issue. So I think, Lauren, I think probably my best answer for you is to get with Andy, so we can, I don't want to give a blanket answer. You know, if you have a project in the works and it is budget dependent, please reach out to your vice chair and let us know. Let them know where we're at. You know, there's sort of a moratorium on spending, as we won't have, sadly, we did not have the amount of income we were sort of normalized to from 2020 to build towards 2021. and now we find ourselves in the same position in that we may have less income than that for 2021 to 2022. So we do want to monitor spending closely during the period, but we probably want to look at that on a case by case basis. So I probably wouldn't see a lot of like large purchases and things like that, but we also don't want to create a situation where you've put effort, et cetera, into a project. So please reach out to your vice chair, let them know where we're at, and we should be able to get an answer back out to you quickly on how we can get that resolved for you. Hopefully that answers Lauren's question. But yes, if you're a department head, don't forget, please email your vice chair. Excellent question, Lauren. I guess I had not yet thought of that. 3 weeks. Tristan is saying about board information Tuesday, 3 weeks from now, which I believe is, let me just double check. I believe that's the 9th.
Should be the 9th.
That is the 9th. So February 9th, Tuesday. 6:30 p.m. starts the next board meeting. Live stream available on the YouTube page. Obviously, as well virtually as was physically. Everyone is welcome to attend. They're open to the public. We'll be going over some bylaw questions, some ideas for the election process, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Tristan, one of the agenda items was finances, ATC level, and how interconnected with NMA Detour. I think that was a discussion point. Yes, so that and not to overstep, but from 6:30 to 7 is the first 30 minutes is for open business. So that is board related stuff. Encourage everyone, if you're able to attend those, ask questions, get involved. Also, if you're not able to, keep in mind that those meetings, like staff meetings, are then, I think board meetings are public, but you should still be able to, as staff, access the staff meeting for rewatch if you would like, but that would be sad. But also, yeah, to get yourself up on information if you need to. We'll give it a few more minutes, and if there's nothing else, we'll let people get back to their week. And again, I appreciate everybody taking the time to sign on. We expect next month's meeting. Again, we will have a January, February, March. We're having where normally we had 2 staff meetings. One of those we've had become a department head meeting. So we hammer stuff out in the department head meeting, and then hopefully that carries over into the staff meeting. Some of the information is repeated, but yeah, we feel like it's hopefully going to work. So yeah, that look for there will be one of those in one of each department head meeting and staff meeting in February. Yeah. I saw Tristan's comment about the dog. I assumed it was one of those, but they were so quiet, I forgot they were there.
And just so everyone knows, the dates are for the next department head meeting is February 7th at 1 p.m., which is a Sunday. And then the next general staff meeting is February 20th at 1 p.m., and that is a Saturday.
So Lauren has a question about voting rights and how that works with the ATC memberships. Do I have a, is that something you or one of your team is able to answer? It's kind of your wheelhouse.
I think that's going to be similar to how we did last year, where if you roll over or refund your membership, you're going to have to go and pay the $15 for the ATC membership. That would be my best guess.
Yep, that is correct. It'll be the same thing. If you roll over to the next year, that will be your membership for next year, so you still need to pay the $15 separate. If you don't have a badge, you'll need to pay the $15 separate. So yeah, it will be handled the same way as we did last year.
Okay. hopefully that answers that question. It was sort of what I was assuming, but I did not want to answer for the ATC folks.
And if anybody is questioning if they have voting rights or what they need for voting rights, they can email ad_admin@animedetour.com, and I can look up your attendance record for these meetings.
So I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kale. Kale is saying, where can we do that? If I'm connecting that to Lauren saying, should we plan on getting ATC memberships? Will they see something in the coming months, a link or something allowing them to spend that $15 to get that membership?
I would assume, as it would fall under ATC, that would be an ATC question. I don't see why ATC would not do that. As a board member, I don't see why ATC would not do that. It's the same thing we did last year.
Yeah.
I believe there is a way on the website now to purchase the $15 membership. I just don't remember if that's still up there or if that's been taken down. I believe it should still be there. There is no reason why it was taken off the website. If it is, then we'll just have to put it back up.
Nope,
it's still on the ATC website.
Yeah, Tristan just sent the link, and Lauren sings. So yeah, check that. I know that I just clicked on the link that Tristan sent. That definitely works. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I was reading. So yeah, hopefully that answers those questions about sort of how some of that works. Like Ashley said, if you have any questions on whether you will have those ATC voting rights, just contact the admin department and they can check your attendance and give you that answer. Okay. I don't have a problem letting this run for 10 more minutes or ending at any time. So if there's anything else, I'll give it a few more minutes. If there's anything else that anybody thinks of for us, for admin, vice chairs, anything. Kale, on which website? Lauren mentions the AD website, and then I was mentioning the ATC website, but I didn't try to buy it. Is it, which one was it broken on? Yeah, looks like from the ATC website, when you fill in your information and click buy membership, it says unable to process this account's request.
Okay, as it's ATC, please email the ATC board, as AD would not have any ability to fix that.
Absolutely. Okay, well, yeah. I think,
I think if nobody else does anything, we can get up a little bit early.
Yep. Yeah,
you don't all need to just sit here staring at us if you don't have anything to ask us.
ATC will follow up on that. Kale, thank you for pointing that out. Tristan is aware, so we've gotten that information to the ATC website. Again, thank you everybody for signing on. As always, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. We've always had an open door. Please consider that just as, if not more so, open than previously. If there's anything, reach out to any one of us or admin or myself, and we will look at helping you. Otherwise, we will see some of the folks at the department head meeting next month or the staff meeting thereafter. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all for coming.
All right.
Bye.